consumer behavior is something that usually determines that precedes the generation of demand. And we were talking about demand and supply. Changes in consumer behavior itself can result in significant changes in the way the society functions. I mean, I remember back 20, 21, 22 years ago when I first went to US to study, the fast foods were growing. McDonald's of the world were growing. And the way people were eating food substantially changed at that point in time. They had some 30, 35,000 outlets. Then came KFC, Burger King, so on and so forth. Gradually, over a period of time, I think the food eating patterns itself are shifting. I have seen in my lifetime, particularly in the North American and European context, and now it will flow down to the Indian context also, that the food moved from 3 square meals to maybe eating Atkins diet to protein diet to low-fat diet and so on and so forth. And this became common parlance. I mean, it was just not restricted to a handful of individuals. It perpetuated the society, resulted in creation of chains of food stores. In Indian context too, I still remember that from a marketing standpoint, there used to be advertisement of Saffola and advertisement of Dhara about 30 years ago, where they would talk about Swadisht Vyanjan. And now we have moved from Swadisht Vyanjan to Paushtik Ahar. I think we have had that circle, and if we keep that circle in place, I think the idea for today, I think, was that focus on from food security, the shift to nutritional security. I mean, if we shift from food security to nutritional security, the nutritional security itself could usher the same era that was ushered in 1960s. With the new crops, new types of diet, staple, non-staple, it doesn't matter. We have adapted ourselves. I mean, just imagine the cornflakes market. It has come, we have adapted. So I think the concept of the 3 square meals itself is going to change. I think people probably will go back to 2 meals a day, which was probably what was happening before also. And if those changes take place, the consumer behavior itself will drive to a certain extent, it already is, by reducing demand for wheat and rice, resulting in a lot of disease. So I think if we were to summarize, the current state of agriculture primarily is because of the administrative inefficiencies which have happened over a period of time. And one of the bridge between the current state and the future state, the vehicles from moving from current state to the next one, could be improvements in the procurement vis-a-vis the current act, maybe information and technology, more IT driven mandis and so on and so forth. Subsidies, I think cooperative farming, we have mentioned that in our discussion. I think if cooperatives can have milk collection and produce a huge brand like Amul, it's evident that the states could come up with cooperatives for cooperative farming and cooperatives for procurement of these crops. And finally, I think employment, as far as employment is concerned, I think there is substantial opportunities which will be created probably if this is taken in the full spirit, even by the corporate sector, aside from what Professor Ramesh Chand had mentioned, the states. And I think if the corporate sector also takes it in the right spirit and takes a more holistic approach, and I would say more benign approach of spreading the profits over a period of time rather than getting those profits right away in the beginning of this era, it will result in positive outcomes. But I think the acts are there. The vehicles for transition from the current state to the next state probably would come out in the rules and regulations. Overall, I think what we could gather, even from the representatives from the Punjab state, that it is all in good spirit. And I think we have done our bit in reducing the communication / miscommunication or whatever information or overload of information is available. I'm sure, sir, this will go. Our students